Interviews. I'm being interviewed now. Okay.
Yeah. If someone, if someone were to ask you how to become more self-aware, what would you say?
I think self awareness being so important is something that takes a mindfulness practice, and it's more in the sense of making sure you are the one giving yourself the feedback. Yes, it's nice to be able to have our friends point out blind spots to us. I think it's a beautiful part of relating with humans is that sometimes they shine a mirror back to us of things we may not be aware of. But whether or not you internalize that as fact has to be up to you. And so the way in which I have developed my self awareness has mainly been through journaling and taking the time to really reflect and process on my interactions with people. And the reason I've had to be so careful with self awareness is because I also have a bit of social anxiety, and anxiety is a liar. Anxiety is going to tell you that everyone thinks you're cringy. That's not true. No one actually thinks about your interactions as deeply as you do. And so when you can actually remember that and give yourself grace, you'll often be able to then start recognizing ways in which you do interact with people beautifully, ways in which you are able to connect to people. And so one of the ways in which self-awareness has grown with me is how did I build such close relationships with my friends? And reflecting on the ways in which our conversations took us to deeper levels and the ways in which I was always able to hold space for people. I did a lot of journaling exercises in terms of trying to figure out when things would trigger me. I would have to really deep dive. Why did this trigger me? What about words that people say or the ways in which I perceive words people say really triggered me. And when you have that self awareness, you know not only how you are impacting people around you, but how you are perceiving people's words that they're saying to you. And you can be self aware that somebody gave me a compliment, but that doesn't mean they're hitting on me. Or somebody gave me some feedback to help me grow as a person, but that doesn't mean they're judging me. And so being aware of how you perceive things and being aware of how you impact others is a really beautiful way to grow your self awareness.
It brings me to another question. Your answer brings me to another question. Would you say creativity can help lead to self-awareness?
I absolutely think creativity can lead to self awareness because the more in which you allow yourself to explore creative endeavors without the judgment of how it's going to turn out and just allow yourself to discover what lies within you, the more you actually become aware of, oh, I didn't know that I was going to enjoy painting so much. And I didn't know also that sometimes I was going to feel a little bit uncomfortable with the fact that my painting didn't turn out the way I envisioned it. And I didn't know that I was going to be so judgmental with myself. And then working through that judgment and knowing that you have to go into creativity with like a childlike beginner's mind and know that you're just it's more of a play. And if you're not putting these expectations of things having to be perfection, then you actually get to discover your creative voice. And that's how I found my artistic voice with drawing, with painting, with writing, with all of the things, because I removed this, I want my stuff to look like what this person's look like, and just allow myself to discover what would my artistic expression look like. What would a painting of me just playing with, how does a bird look like? And so you become more and more self-aware when you just allow yourself to tap into creativity, and it's not from a place of judgment.